Hello, and welcome to Japanese Craft Beer Reviews. Today we're going to review a beer from one of the four Japanese major breweries. There are four, Asahi, Kirin, Sapporo, and Suntory. And Asahi and Kirin are the big ones for sure. Sapporo and Suntory holding up the kind of bottom end here. Suntory is better known for its whiskeys, certainly probably abroad. But I think among beer geeks, you might get a consensus that overall Sapporo is the better of, or the best of the four. And today we're going to take a look at a new one in a series that Sapporo has, and it is called Sapporo Yebisu Creative Brew Houjicha no Yoin. And the Creative Brew series is a fairly new one. I don't know, in the last maybe year and a half or so, they've put out a number of beers, and what they've done is they've allowed the brewer who is the head brewer at their Tokyo, they have a small Tokyo sort of pilot small brewery and tap room as well there, and they are allowing some younger brewers to give their ideas in and try some new ideas with beer. And trying to finally step off into something close to craft beer, but little baby steps. And this one is a Houjicha beer. I'll talk a little bit more about it in a minute. And it is actually the 8th in the series. If you go to the website, they will say number 7. It's the 7th in the series, but they are somehow leaving out the first one, which they did. And let me just very quickly recap what they have made, these 7 and now 8 beers. The first one is called New Origin, and in this beer, what they tried to do is recreate something similar to the very first Yebisu, which was made in 1890. And by using ingredients from that time, they had found a handwritten recipe, or they had a handwritten recipe, and they found it had Tettnanger hops, so it was made by German brewers, and also using multiple additions of those hops. That was number 1, New Origin. The second one was simply called New Creative Brew Orange, and it included orange peel. It was a wheat ale. And the third one is called Hop Drip. And this one, basically what they were trying to do with that name was indicate that they were dry hopping the beer. Number 4 was called Citrus Blanc, and this was they claimed it was a wit beer, but actually it didn't really resemble a wit beer much. Number 5, Juicy Ale, and it was a flavored fruit beer, flavored with grapefruit juice. And number 6, we're getting a little more interesting here. Ibushi, a smoked beer, or Rauch beer, which, to my mind, as far as I know, no other major brewer has ever made a smoked beer. And this is, of course, the popular style in Europe, and, for example, in Bamberg, the smoked beers are quite popular. And number 7 was called Kokareko, and it was a dark lager. And this one is the 8th one. It is, again, called Houjicha no Yoin. And Houjicha is a type of tea. Many of you are familiar with matcha, which is the Japanese green tea. Houjicha is simply roasted green tea, and it gives it quite a different flavor. It's become quite popular over the last few years. There are a lot of drinks that have it now, so you can buy Houjicha in convenience stores where you couldn't a few years ago. And so it's roasted over charcoal in porcelain, and what it should be, give it a kind of smooth character, sort of maybe kind of notes of maybe chocolate, maybe coffee, or in this case perhaps more appropriately roasted barley. So 5.5%, and I don't have any information on IBUs. This is a tall boy, a 500 milliliter can, and it was 341 yen at the store where I bought it, and that would probably be somewhere I'm guessing somewhere around $2.10, something like that. So not a terribly high price. Rate beer, there were no ratings whatsoever. And side note, many of you know rate beer is going to disappear soon. So if you have anything you want to get off rate beer, you probably should go get it now. Untapped, there were 177 ratings when I checked, and the average was 3.31. Very, very respectable. Okay, so I'm interested in trying this one here. It is, so they are getting, again, creative with their brewing at Sapporo Yebisu. Yebisu is basically Sapporo's kind of top of the line series, and the basic one is a Dortmunder style. This one, I think we'd have to classify it as a flavored fruit, perhaps with the tea element in it. Okay, let's give it a go. Okay, so it is very clear, nice kind of dark, almost coppery color, with a nice fat head of foam, maybe a finger and a half of foam. You can see the carbonation rising up quite heavily here, and the head is quite, one half is creamy, the other half is kind of pocked, and I guess that's my pour. So I can smell it already. Okay, so this definitely has ale characteristics. In general, many of the 7 precursors here were recognizable as Yebisu, with some element of the added ingredient, the orange peel in one case here, or the wit beer, the grapefruit in another case. So this one right away I can smell definitely has an ale character. Mild, quite fruity. Basically stone fruit, I think. Okay. Basically a light malty sweetness. The Houjicha sort of enters very late as a kind of gentle bitterness. I assume it's contributing to the upfront flavor, but I don't get it so much. Mid-palate, it starts to make itself known on the tongue. Yes, definitely a light, sweet bit of tea note in mid-palate, and then in the finish, definitely we get a kind of light residue of bitterness. Not long tracks or anything like that, but definitely a kind of light tea bitterness. Yeah, this is nice. Nice. Different, for sure. Okay, as it's warming up, I am getting a little bit more of the fruitiness. Very gentle, kind of subtle. At the end, the tea really does come through. So this is an interesting beer. Yeah, I would say go give this one a try. There are some other Yebisu creative brews still out there. Today I saw Ibushi, the smoked rock beer, and Kokareko, the dark lager. You can definitely find those two out in stores. Go to a Yamaya store or a large liquor store in your area and check them out. Okay, I especially recommend Ibushi, the smoked beer, for sure. Okay, and check this one out too. It's interesting. It doesn't knock my socks off, but certainly it's very, very drinkable. Nice, light and fruity, with a bit of tea element in the end. Once again, it is called Sapporo Yebisu Creative Brew Houjicha no Yoin, and Yoin has the idea of lingering, and the fact that the tea is lingering, and it really is on the tongue. Okay, well, that's it for today. Hope you're doing well. Please do stay healthy. Take care. Leave me a comment, and I will respond to you, and subscribe to the channel. Take care. Bye-bye.